guys, welcome back to Speak My Language. Samantha here.
And Sabrina here.
Before we get started on this topic today, I just wanted to say, there's something that I kind of wanted to just get off my chest before we continue with the episode and this podcast. So the other day I was watching Matthew McConaughey. You know how he does, like, I guess, motivational speeches?
Yeah.
He was speaking at a college and it was about, like, the truths of life or something like that. And one of them, he said somewhere along the lines, like, life isn't fair. It never will be, and it never was, and it never will be. And that we need to stop seeing ourselves as victims because everybody goes through things
Hard
in their
times.
lives, you know? And so I started to sit with that and really think about it in terms of our podcast. And the last 2 episodes, I know that I've shared, a little bit about what I've gone through in my life. And I just wanted to say I've never seen myself as a victim. I never will. And my purpose for this podcast is not to have people come and be like, let's all be victims together. Like, you know, because I don't want that company, and I've passed that part of my life. I know that my life isn't hard and people do have it harder, you know? So my purpose with this podcast is just to normalize talking about it, whatever it may be, you know, because we don't have that kind of stuff here in El Paso or really anywhere. We just get on social media and see the perfect parts of everybody's life because that's what they're posting, you know? So, I haven't gotten that feedback. We haven't gotten that feedback,
No.
but I kind of sat with it for a while, and I thought about it in terms of the podcast. So I just wanted to say that just to, you know, put it out there and make sure that everybody knows that.
No,
So
that's nice.
yeah. So do you want to tell them what we're talking about today?
So we're going to talk about our lives during the pandemic. I'm sure everyone had a really hard experience.
Yeah.
And everyone went through different things. Like, I went through something different. You, all of our friends.
Yeah.
But everyone had difficulties.
Yeah. And our lives are so different now. Not just because of the pandemic, but just, you know,
in
I
general.
think, both of us had really monumental experiences that happened within this last year. So our lives are really different. So we get to see it or hear it from 2 different perspectives. So I think this episode is going to be great.
I know.
So
well,
go ahead.
For me, okay, when did it start? I didn't even think this pandemic was gonna be yes. I thought it was gonna be like the swine flu, and everyone would talk about it and make jokes, but it wasn't ever gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
When I was at work, I used to work at this place called Floor and Decor, and one of my coworkers would always talk. He's like, I have corona. I was like, oh my God, be quiet. But I never thought that we'd shut down or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the beginning of 2020, me and my friend Brianna, we traveled. We went
to Mexico.
We went to Mexico City.
I remember texting you and was like, dude, don't go.
Yes, but everyone was wearing masks in the beginning, and I would look at them weird. I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah. You know? But now you can't go anywhere without a mask.
Yeah.
And then we went to Mexico City, then we went to Phoenix, and when we went to Phoenix, that's when it all was happening. Our concert, our Post Malone concert got canceled. Our baseball game got canceled. Like, everything was canceled.
Yeah.
But we still went. There we were.
And it was so scary in the beginning because there was, like, so many unknowns, you know? Like, now you go out and it's just like, oh, I just need my mask, you know? But, like, in the beginning it was so...
I remember, you can't breathe.
Yeah, I was terrified. It was... And because nobody knew what was going on, so... But then you started a new job, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, so I was at Floor and Decor, and then they told us, if you're not comfortable, you don't have to come, but honestly...
You're like, I hate this job. Yeah, I'm not comfortable.
I'm like, I don't know if I should say that. But it's because I would just stand there. I loved my coworkers. I loved my managers, everything. But it was just so boring.
Yeah.
I would always be texting her like, what are you doing? I am so bored. I hate it here.
I remember that. That's so... When did you start? Did you start?
Last year. Pff, it's 2021.
I know.
In 2019, and then it went all the way to March, and then I quit, or I said, okay, well, I'm not comfortable. And then I got a new job, and then that's when they had asked me if I wanted to go back, and then I started this new job. So
work from home.
Yes, it's awesome. So I work for this company called Teleperformance, and we get to work from home, and I get to be in my pajamas. And so we work for a big social media company, and we moderate the content and stuff. We can't really discuss the social media company.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's such a good job, and I'm so grateful. This whole year I got to work from home, save money, because it was pretty good money, like compared to what I'm used to. I was like, I'm an adult. This is real.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it's crazy because like the pandemic is like a blessing. Like well, at first we're like, oh my god, this is terrible, and then it became a blessing because you literally get to work from home.
Yes,
that's awesome.
I love it. Even though I have to wake up pretty early, I go in from 5 a.m. to 1:30, but I have my whole day.
Yeah. And some people are barely waking up at 1. So.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then you already got work out of the way.
Yeah,
so that's good.
So I have my whole day. So yeah, I'm grateful for that.
And then you bought a house.
Yeah,
Sabrina bought a house, guys.
Well, that job is what allowed me to get this house. Like I was approved. Well, I had the credit.
Yeah.
And with that job, I got approved. So I'm so grateful, and
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So that's where I am right now. What else? Oh, so I learned how to play golf.
Oh, she's a golfer, guys.
I'm not that good yet. But me and my friend Brianna, since we couldn't do anything during this pandemic, golf courses were still open because you can social distance.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's learn how to play. Oh my God, it is so hard.
That's so fun though. I still don't know how to hit.
It's hard. Yeah. There are so many different aspects to a golf swing. It's not easy at all, but we're getting the hang of it. We're getting a little bit better, and it's really fun. I'm glad we picked that up.
Yeah.
Because it's another hobby that we can do for literally the rest of our lives.
Yeah, and instead of like going to drink or something, you know.
Yeah. Like,
I feel like the pandemic forces people to like get new hobbies because especially here in El Paso, all you have to do is just go drink or like go hang out with friends and drink. I mean, people are still doing that, but for people that were getting out of their comfort zone, they got to
in the beginning,
get new hobbies and stuff.
You couldn't do that at all. Like I remember I was getting stressed, and it was bad because I wasn't used to being home so much.
Yeah.
And I love my family, but being around them for so long, I'm like, oh my God, I need to get out.
Yeah, and even being in the house for so long, it's ironic that it's exhausting, but being just home all day, it's mentally exhausting.
You feel trapped.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I picked that up. I also picked up yoga. I haven't been doing it, but for a few months I was doing it. It felt great.
I would honestly, I would love to learn. I tried on YouTube, but like it's different when you don't have somebody like actually teaching you.
Well, I went to one class and it was outside, so we were all socially distancing, and that's where I had started it, and that's where I really liked it. So when I went home, I would look up tutorials. Yeah. Not tutorials. Well, classes online. Yeah. But it is different.
Yeah, it is.
And I was like in my garage, like, it wasn't the same. But when things go back, I do want to pick up yoga because it feels amazing. Like everyone should do it. Even just stretching, your body feels great.
Yeah, and I don't want to lose our flexibility.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I'm losing it. What about, oh my God, your experience was way different than mine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, not just because of the pandemic, our lives changed
completely.
Yeah. But, well, I found out I was pregnant December of 2019. And then the pandemic didn't really hit until I was about 4 months pregnant. So I'm grateful that I still had like a gender reveal, and Jacob was still able to go to most of the sonograms. And then after that, it's just like a normal checkup. So I mean, he didn't really lose out on much, but it does suck because I couldn't have him there like through all the appointments and stuff. But as far as being pregnant, I mean, I think the one mistake that I did was have expectations going into being pregnant, like because. I mean, everybody, well, I don't know about everybody, but for me, like, even before I knew, I was always like, when I'm pregnant, like, I'm going to be that girl that's always working out. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to, just prepare myself. And honestly, there's no way to prepare yourself for motherhood, parenthood in general. There's really no way. So I think the biggest mistake that I did was have those kind of expectations for me because I had every single pregnancy symptom you could have. Like, I remember, because I was still working in the beginning when I found out I was pregnant before the pandemic hit, and I was always texting. It's so funny because when I didn't know I was pregnant, I was always texting my managers like, dude, I have the flu, send me home. Like, you guys have no empathy for me. I am sick. And I remember the last time that I had texted my manager, and I was training some guy, and I'm like, dude, I'm leaving because I'm throwing up. Like, I was throwing up, and I'm like, I have the flu, like, I'm leaving. And he was like,
I remember, we all thought you were sick. I was like, what's wrong with you? Pregnancy wasn't even a thought in our minds.
It wasn't. Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, go ahead and go home, but Samantha, I think you're pregnant. And I was like, no, I'm not. I was so pissed. I was like, don't ever say that to me ever again. Anyway, so the next day I took a pregnancy test, and yes, I was pregnant. But anyway, so it was hard for me, the pregnancy, and then going more into pregnancy, I had a hard time, I guess, with the weight that I was gaining, because
oh my God, I would get mad at her. I'm like, Samantha, you are pregnant.
But everybody, no, honestly, I wish people understood, like,
yeah, I guess I don't know.
No, yeah, I know. Or like somebody, I mean, I'm not, like, I enjoy being fit, you know, or I did enjoy being fit. So like, and Jacob would tell me the same thing too. He's like, there is a human in your body.
That's what I would say. I was like, you are growing a baby inside of you.
And I'm just, I mean, it's different. I mean, I hope somebody can relate to me, because I really had a hard time, and it really did something.
You. Like, you have no control, and you're used to that. You're used to working out often and taking care of yourself, and you really have no control of what's happening. Yeah.
And then, but on the other hand, I enjoyed pregnancy because I slept and I was pampered and I got to eat, and like, but on the other hand, I was like,
it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I was having a hard time with the weight that I was gaining, and then just like sick. Physically, like, you're just so like not yourself, like at all.
You're exhausted.
Yeah. And then I mean, most of the time that I was pregnant, I was either always on YouTube, or I was always like looking at things about giving birth and stuff. So majority of the part, I had like a birth plan in mind going into delivery and stuff. So I went into labor July 15th, and then with the whole pandemic going on, they had to like check our temperature and, you know, go in and stuff. And
it was actually pretty serious then.
Yeah. And it was, honestly, I feel for all the moms that are either pregnant right now or had a baby, because it's, I mean, you think about having a baby, and then you just think like, my family's gonna be there, like people, you know, like you just want like it was just Jacob and I, which on the other hand, Jacob and I really grew like a different kind of respect and trust for each other, because all we had in that moment was just us two. But I had a birth plan, and like it just didn't go the way that I wanted it to. I got the epidural, but it wasn't placed correctly, so ouch. I felt literally every single pain, and I didn't even get to hold Lennon, because they thought I was gonna, I almost passed out. I had a fever of 105, so I didn't get that like moment with her, like every mom experience. And I was a mess. Like, I was pushing so hard that by the time she came out, I was like, I thought I was dead. Like, I thought I was dying. And,
oh my goodness.
And props to anybody that does it willingly natural, because it is freaking painful. I did it unintentionally natural, whatever. But, ouch. So, yeah. So, but I did get to hold her. And I think the time that I was in labor, all of the rooms were taken for like, so we didn't even get to stay in the room. They pushed us to like where you have the curtains and stuff. Oh, okay. So I was with a bunch of other mothers, but in the middle of it was just so weird. Not the way that I pictured it in my mind before going into it. So I was happy because I had her finally, but I was like, this isn't the way I pictured it. Like, you know, so you feel like a little like discouraged and whatever. But then, so I feel like because of the pandemic, they really pushed people out of the hospital and stuff. So we were gone the next day, and I went home, and I think it's so, so important for women to have a good support system coming home from the hospital or postpartum in general, because every single the postpartum journey is different, you know, like some people come out of it and they're like, I have it all together, like I know exactly what I'm gonna do, and for me it was just not that way. I went home and I just felt like I really needed my mom. My sister and my mom came down because my mom lives in San Antonio and my sister lives in Lubbock, my older sister. So they came down because I had just given birth, and I'm pretty sure they knew what position that I was in. So yeah, so I went home and I couldn't stop crying, and it wasn't because I was sad, because I wasn't sad at all. I couldn't stop crying because I feel like I couldn't. I've never felt like that kind of love for any kind of human being, nonetheless my own, and I didn't know where to put it in my body. So I couldn't stop crying, like, but I wasn't sad. I was just crying. I don't even know how to, yeah. And that's why I say, like, yeah. Okay. That's why I say, like, it's so important that women have a good support system and they don't, like, judge you for the position that you're in, because no one's journey is perfect. And like I said, some people have it together, some people don't, and it's okay. Whichever one you're in, it's perfectly okay, because in the end, the best thing for your baby is you, and that's just a fact. So my sister came and she made sure that I knew that she was there. Even I think Lennon was probably maybe 3 days old, and my sister took me for a smoothie because I was overwhelmed, because I don't think people understand, like, once you have birth, you're a completely, totally different person. Like, yeah. Even like the day or a couple of days before I had given birth, I was like, once I get out of the hospital, like, I'm going to wear the waist trainer. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to just all about me. Like, this is what I'm going to do for me, because and it's still true right now. I can't be the best mom that I can be if I don't take care of myself. So, I mean, that's just the expectation that I went in with a newborn. But, like, once I went home, I didn't even think about myself.
It was all about
once. I didn't think about myself once. So, like, I was a completely, totally new person. And it's hard to, like adjust that quick, because you give birth, you go home, and you're expected to know what to do, you know?
Your life changes completely, forever.
Yeah.
In that moment, that's it. They're here.
And you're supposed to, like, you're expected to know what to do, and, like, I mean,
oh God, I'm scared.
Yeah, and I always thought, like, oh, the mother instinct, I'm gonna be good, and, like, I was really confident in the way that my mom raised me, so I was like, you know, I got it, and, like, I went home, and I was like, oh my God, and I'm honestly blessed, because Jacob is a really good dad, and he was there to help me, and he still is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's different for moms, because you just had a baby, and then your body's going back to, like, it's the way that it was before, but then it's not really there, you know? So it was hard for me. And then because of the pandemic, it got kind of complicated when Lennon was about, like, 5 days old with COVID and stuff. So I wasn't really able to see my sister or my mom or really anybody. So it was just Jacob, Lennon, and I. And again, like, out of that, we did grow a new respect and trust for each other, but I missed my family, and I wanted Lennon to meet her cousins and stuff like that. But yeah, that's as far as the pandemic, it was just, I mean, we just stay home, and it sucks, because, like, that's, like, the time where everybody, like, meets the baby.
Yeah,
and, like, you know,
we didn't even get to see her. I saw you pregnant probably twice.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, one day I saw you and you were tiny, and then the next day we took a walk or something, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was huge. You
weren't really huge, but you were pregnant.
I was huge.
Because in the beginning, you couldn't even tell that you were pregnant at all. Yeah, you were so tiny.
I think I was, well, I don't even know how, I think I was 2 months when I found out, and I literally had no idea. But
I know.
Yeah, so, like, my family couldn't meet her for a while. My dad didn't see her for a while. So it was hard in that sense, but I never got, like, depressed about it, because I knew that I was doing what was best for her just by staying home, you know?
Yeah.
But then, like, after a while, you just do the same thing every day, and, like, you're taking care of her. Drained. Yeah. So like, we just kind of got like, well, should we go for a drive? Like, we would go for a drive, we would go for a walk, and, like, I mean, that helped us in, like, our mental state. But yeah, I think I learned a lot through this whole experience. Lennon's gonna be 6 months next month, and I'm,
oh my gosh,
yeah,
half a year.
Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna do like a little, not a birthday party, because it's not her birthday, but like a little birthday
photo shoot.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. But I feel like I really learned a lot through this whole pandemic and short journey in motherhood. And that's why I say, like, it's so important to have a good support system and people that support you in your boundaries and, like, the kind of mother that you want to be, and don't judge you for it. Like, there's no point in people offering help if they're going to judge you while offering it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would just if I could give any moms or new moms or anything, I mean, I'm not some kind of expertise on motherhood. I'm honestly still learning a lot, but that's the one piece of advice that I could give. Just make sure you have like a good support system. And if you don't, my DMs are open. I will be your support system. But yeah, that's pretty much it for like
the pandemic and motherhood.
Yeah, I mean, motherhood is
I know. It's another. I feel like I look at you and our other friends, and I'm like, dang, I give you guys props.
Yeah, and I'm for like another series on the podcast. I want to have mothers join us on here and just get like their perspective, because every parent is different, you know.
And maybe they can talk to you, because I don't know. You know, I mean, I'm just looking up from the outside in, and I don't know those feelings or anything. You know?
I wasn't, and that too, because I didn't go through postpartum depression or anything like that. I just, honestly, I was just crying all the time because I couldn't.
Just emotional, not.
One time
Happy
Jacob.
And sad.
One time Jacob walked in and I was holding her and I was like, I mean, it's just, I mean, you can't really understand unless you go through it, because I mean, I was that way. Like when people are always like, I've never known a love like this, or like, you know, like all the cliches people say, I'm like,
it's true.
Oh my God. But I'm just like, you're a mom, you have kids. People have kids every day, you know? So I didn't really think about it like anything in that like emotional, you know? So one time Jacob had walked out of the room and I was just sitting there and I was holding her and I was like, oh my God, like she's mine. Like this is my daughter and her life
depends
is
on
my
you.
Responsibility, you know? And I just started crying and crying. He walks in and he's like, what's wrong? What's the matter? And I was like, I love her so much. And like, I was also like, I was emotional because of that. And then I was also mourning like my expectation of my birth story because it didn't go the way that I wanted it to. And even like, they didn't even teach me like how to take care of myself at the hospital. Like I really just, I had to figure it out. My friend Abby actually sent me a lot of stuff. So if she didn't send me anything, I would have no idea, because I asked for like extra and they were like, sorry, we don't have any. And I was just like,
extra what? Help?
Like no, like extra like supplies to take care of yourself.
Yes.
That's pretty much, and they were like, sorry, we don't have any. And I was just like,
oh my gosh,
it just wasn't the kind of experience that I, you know, pictured in my head.
You think that it's just all beautiful.
And then so when we're leaving, it's different because we're leaving and we had no idea how to work the car seat like at all. Like we just had it prepared. We were there's like this thing on top of the car seat that goes, but it's for winter and it's like fuzzy on the inside and it only puts or so you can only see the face. And we had that on in the middle of summer. So,
she's all sweaty.
So we're getting ready to leave the hospital and I call the doctor because she was like, okay, call me when you guys are ready. And then we'll take you out, whatever. And so I'm calling the doctor and she was like, are you ready? And I was like, yeah, but we need help. And she's like, with what? And I was like, the car seat. And she was like, well, I cannot help you. So I could just tell you over the phone. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
And I forgot like what we didn't know how to do. But then there was like 2 student nurses that came in. And one of them was so kind and she was like, oh, I have kids and blah, blah. She's like, but this is for winter. Like we had her in the middle of summer. Like it was so hot.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I was in my hospital and birth and delivery was not the way that I wanted it to be. But, now looking back at it, I'm grateful because I came out stronger and because I didn't have the tools, I came up with them on my own, you know? Like, I mean, besides like the way that my mom raised me and I was, you know, I was confident in that. But other than that, Jacob just had each other. We just had each other, you know?
I think you guys are doing a great job, honestly.
Yeah. And she's taught me a lot. Like I'm telling you, being a mom, you're just totally different person. And I feel for all the moms because
But I can see it. I can see it through everyone that we know that have became a mother or become a mother. You can see how much they change and the love that they have for their child, and it's just crazy. Yeah, and like I said, just always be confident that you are what's best for your baby. You and your partner, your spouse, whoever it may be, it's you two that are most important and best for your baby. So, especially like when you're in the beginning of your postpartum journey, you're so
vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like and people don't talk about that. Like, people don't post that. They just post like, I just had my baby, and like the baby looks so peaceful, and it's not, I mean, it's not like, yes, it is like that in the sense of like the love you have for your baby, but other than it is so hard. Like, it is so hard, and it's getting easier now because Lennon's becoming she's becoming more of like herself. She has more of a personality, so we know what she wants. But in the beginning, like, they cry and you're like, what's like, what do you want? Like,
because they can't, I'd be scared. Like, they can't tell you, you know? You don't know what's going on.
They just cry.
Like, what if something happens? What if something's wrong internally? Like, you don't know. I think I'm going to freak out.
And when your new moms, Google is not your friend. I promise. Every single day that she was born, day one, I was like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And then Google will tell you, oh, she's going to die tomorrow. Like, so I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, Google is not your friend, new moms. I promise you. Their skin is supposed to come off. Like, it's like, not come off, but like, they shed.
They're supposed to be skinless.
Yeah, they, like, their skin sheds, and like,
they get little pimples, little acne.
And like all this crazy stuff. And you're like, oh my, but it's normal. Like, you know, and I was freaking out, but all of it is like completely normal. And
I think you just get scared. Well, not you, everyone.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I'm not a good mom because this isn't like, my journey isn't going how this girl's journey is, and like this one. But like, no, you really just have to understand everyone is different. Everybody's baby is different.
Yes, everyone's baby is different.
Yeah, and like, baby Lennon has been, and I'm not trying to because she's mine, but she is literally the happiest, calmest, most perfect little baby ever. So she made being a first-time parent pretty easy. But I mean, for people that have it worse, I mean, I can only empathize like for them, because even though she made it easy, it's still hard. Like, it's still hard.
Sleeping schedule and stuff.
Yeah. So just if you're a mom, or you're barely going to be a mom, or you're expecting, just know, like, you're not wrong. For nobody's journey is perfect. Like, you have to just be confident in your own and know, like, you're doing your best.
Yeah, and then also, don't let other people's opinion really get to you. Every mom is different. If this mom wants to do it this way, that's fine. If you want to do it a different way, that's fine. Yeah. You know, I feel like everyone stresses out and is like, oh, well, I'm doing this wrong, or this person told me this. Like, don't let people's opinion get to you. You do what you believe is best for your baby and for you. Yeah,
and I learned that quickly, because people will give you advice that you did not ask for. And I'm, you know what, I'm all for, like, you know, give me your knowledge, you know, but don't force it on me. Like, don't say, like, this is how it has to
rudely,
be. And, or this is how it has to be, and this is how you're supposed to raise your baby. Just recommend. Yeah, because honestly, when I first became a mom, I asked a lot of questions. Like, I asked my friend Abby, I asked my mom, like, people that I knew were moms, and they gave me feedback, but not something that I was like, this is how you're supposed to do it, you know, because there's no handbook. There's no perfect way. Yeah, and there's no instructions on how to be a mom. Like, you just do what's best for your baby, and again, every baby is different. So I learned that very, very quickly into motherhood, especially because, like I said, like, you're so vulnerable. Anything anybody will say to you, you'll like, crumble.
Oh, okay, yeah,
you'll crumble.
Like,
so
that's how I'm gonna be.
No, you're not. You just
another 9 years. No, I'm just kidding.
You have me. You have me.
I have you. I have all my friends.
Yeah, and I'm grateful because my
cousins.
Yeah, I posted something about Lennon because she still hasn't been able to sleep through the night, and I got so many responses from moms, and I really feel like it's like a different, like, community, like, moms, you know, like, but it feels good to have people that genuinely want to help, you know,
want to support each other.
Yeah, because it's not easy, and I think motherhood hit me like a truck, because I was one of them that was like, it's not that hard, like, you're a baby, so you're supposed to know, you know. And like, so I had a totally different mindset going into it. But I just think, don't have expectations going into pregnancy or birth. Like, just, I mean, have like more like fundamentals, like a foundation on how you want to parent, but like, as far as like expectations, just don't have them, because it might not turn out the way you want it to, you know? Yeah, and that, I mean, that's how I was, and I went home and I was just like, oh my God, this is not, and I felt like I started to feel bad for myself, and then after a while, I'm like, you need to be a mom, like, you need to snap out of it and just, you know, just do what's best for your baby, and that's what I did, and she's perfect, she's amazing, you can hear her in the back.
She's talking.
But Yeah, and that's pretty much what my life has been in the pandemic. We haven't gotten off topic. Okay, that's really what my life is in the pandemic, just being a mom. Yeah. And it really hasn't been that hard, because I feel like if the pandemic wasn't happening, I'd still be doing the same thing. I'd still be at home.
But you know what? You know what you told me before when you were pregnant? You were like, you know what? I kind of like it because I'm not missing out on things. Yeah, because we couldn't even go out or do
the
things
bars are closed
that you would normally come to.
The gym, stuff like that.
So you're like, well, I'm glad everyone else is home too.
Yeah, so everyone that's, well, I mean, now the vaccine's out and stuff, so people can go out it. But like for the people that gave birth around the same time I did, I mean, kudos, because we didn't really miss out on anything. But
yeah, you're at home.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much for this episode. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
No.
No.
Well, yeah, I'm sure everyone went through their own hardships, and I hope everyone's okay, because I'm sure it was hard mentally on a lot of people, and like going through different things, because I went through personal things also, and it was so hard to be at home just stuck in your mind and your thoughts. And I'm glad I had you and Brianna to talk about it, because it is hard to just be at home and not be busy when you're going through hard things. Yeah, because I mean, there's not much you can do, you know? Yeah. But we went like on, I feel like it also makes you appreciate like nature and things that are not social media, because we went on a lot of walks, and it's so nice. Refreshing to just take to breathe fresh air, you know? So, yeah, I send all my well wishes to everybody, new moms, people that are starting new work. I feel for you guys. And again, if you guys don't have a support system, I promise you my DMs are open. I don't know much, but I will be there for you. I will be there for you, and that's enough for me. And so, yeah, for the next couple of episodes, we kind of wanted to do like a Q&A. Oh, yeah. Or like if you guys have any suggestions. I mean, we still have like a lot of topics in mind, but if you guys want anything or want to hear anything, just let us know, and we're gonna post about it, so hopefully we get you guys' feedback.
Yeah, and for the feedback that we have gotten, we're super appreciative for you guys, because it's been nothing but kindness, and it was more than we expected. I mean, this is just something we did because it was in our hearts to do, and because you guys are accepting it well, it really makes us feel really good. So again, if you guys have any suggestions, just let us know, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye guys, thank you.